Are we live? It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Asylum. I'm your host, Gabriel. I hope everyone had a great day today. I definitely did, and I hope everyone who's watching this video is also having a great day as well. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite was tonight, and tonight's show, it was a good show. I won't say this is one of the best Dynamites ever, but it was definitely a really good show tonight. And obviously, tonight's show was all surrounded by one big match, and that was CM Punk versus MJF. That's they fought for the first time ever. And what did I think about this match? Okay. Some of you might be mad, okay? But I know a lot of people are saying that this is an excellent match. Or some people are even saying that this is a match of the year candidate. I'm sorry, trust me, I wanted this. I wanted CM Punk versus MJF to be a match of the year contender this year. But it wasn't. Like, don't get me wrong. It was a great match. It really was. But there were just two things that really brought this match down for me. Number one, you know what? I'll talk about it more in detail once we get to the main event. But it was great. I won't say that it was a bad match or terrible. Okay. But it wasn't perfect either. And I'll get to my points once we talk about CM Punk versus MJF. But before we talk about the show overall, obviously, like, today was fucking crazy, bro. Like, it was a crazy day today. Like, there was a good amount of stuff that happened just by today alone. So before we talk about Dynamite, this is the part of the show where we talk about all the wrestling stuff that happened so far this week. And there's a lot of stuff that happened today. So, now I'm going to read from multiple articles. If you guys want to read the articles for yourself, the link is in the description. But let's first talk about Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, the son of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, as he has been reportedly let go by WWE. Here's what it has to say. I'm reading this from K-Side Seats. And again, for all the articles that I'm reading this from, the links are in the description if you guys want to read the articles. But here's what it has to say. Even following talk of heat of Shane McMahon for his role producing in the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble, few would have suspected the reports we're seeing today, February 2nd, about Vince McMahon's son's role at WWE. According to Ringside News, Shane is no longer in the company's plans. A tenor member of the creative team informed us that writers were told in a semi-quiet way that there would be no more creative discussions about Shane McMahon. They have now moved to other creative discussions. The site was first to report that the Junior McMahon was a producer last Saturday and that his work was unpopular backstage. Those stories have since been confirmed by Wrestling Observer Dave Meltzer and Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp, who first reported the written list of Rumble agents, which didn't include Shane's name, but later say he did work on the match. Tweets that while it wasn't confirmed, Ringside's latest Shane, who first reported the written list of Rumble agents who didn't include Shane's name, but later said he did work on the match. Tweets that while he hasn't confirmed Ringside's latest Shane Mac bombshell, a source told him that it's more than likely true. So roughly 48 hours after WWE was planning to assign Shane McMahon to Raw so they could be building towards Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania 38 matches for him, his father is quietly saying his son was let go from a ringside source. Vince McMahon had no choice. Shane created chaos, and everyone in an uproar pissed off everyone in the Rumble, openly buried other producers and was changing things that Vince wanted. Vince has no other choice but to send him home. In an update, Meltzer has confirmed that Shane McMahon is out of WWE. Batman's Andrew Zadium added that an issue with Rumble production was that Bad Bunny's entry number was changed several times, which was a cause for concern, and people within WWE were upset. WWE didn't want to come off negatively with such a major outside star. All these sources remind us that Shane doesn't officially hold a management position for WWE, so this news is at most a talent release, but could just be a decision to drop him from current creative plans. This is a very, very interesting situation. Now, honestly, this has merit to it. Because in the Rumble match, the final four was literally Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Bad Bunny, and Shane McMahon. Those were the final four men for the Royal Rumble. Okay? I thought that was very, very interesting. Just the fact that Shane McMahon even build the Royal Rumble around, try to build the Royal Rumble around himself, I thought was pretty selfish of him. Pretty selfish of him. But it looks like the apple doesn't fall. The apple falls down from the tree. I think that's how the saying goes. But yeah, maybe Vince McMahon would have had this problem if he had the Royal Rumble match planned from the get-go. Because there's also been another source that WWE had to change, had to change the Royal Rumble plans 20 times. 20 times. That is absolutely insane. Okay, that is absolutely insane. And why couldn't Vince McMahon just he should have had this planned last year. Latest Survivor Series time. He should have had the Royal Rumble matches planned last year. But I'm not surprised because Vince McMahon and WWE are fucking lazy. Okay? Honestly, this entire situation is an absolute mess. Obviously, I have no sympathy for Shane McMahon because this has been it's basically more than likely true because it's being reported by absolutely everyone. Okay, so I have no sympathies for Shane McMahon. Having the fucking nerve to build the Royal Rumble and having to plan everything for himself. It's very selfish. And again, this does have merit because he was in the final four of the Royal Rumble matchup. Okay? Honestly, it's just a mess. This entire situation is an absolute mess. But honestly, I have no sympathy for Shane McMahon. That's all I got to say on that. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Are you surprised that this entire situation is absolutely crazy? I want to know what you guys think about the Shane McMahon situation. But This is also very interesting for another reason, because at the end of the day, Shane McMahon is Vince McMahon's son. And yet Vince McMahon let him go. And more than likely this is true. And like, I wouldn't blame Vince McMahon for letting Shane McMahon go, because for letting him go and releasing him, because he was trying to build the Royal Rumble all around himself. And like, it was also being reported that he was being a fucking dick to the writers backstage. Okay? So yeah, like, I have no sympathies. I have no sympathies for Shane McMahon. I really, really don't. But yeah, this is an absolute mess. WWE at right now is an absolute mess. Okay, and WWE and Vince McMahon has no one to blame but themselves. Just saying. But that's not the only news to come out the Royal Rumble. Because another story, I'm reading this from WrestlingInc.com, again, with all the articles. The links are in the description. So if you guys want to read the articles for yourself, the links are in the description. But yeah, so the other story to come out of the Royal Rumble on pay-per-view was that WWE backstage morale was reportedly low after the pay-per-view event. Here's what it has to say. The morale after Saturday's WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view was low compared to most recent WWE events, according to PW Insider. We were all in a whirlwind. Just as you had your role and spots down, everything started over and over again, and now most of us were back to square one. It changed again and again and again. It wasn't an easy night even before we hit the ring. As noted earlier, the men's Rumble match had literally 20 changes made, while the women's Rumble match experienced the same issues. So that's always said right there. And if this is not proof that WWE is a fucking mess right now, then I don't know what to tell you. They changed the Rumble match 20 times. Okay? Again, this shit should have been planned out from the fucking get-go. Okay? The plan should have been set in stone. Vince McMahon and WWE should have been confident with the Rumble, and everything should have been set in stone. But no, they weren't even fucking sure what to do. And with Shane McMahon's involvement, it apparently made everything worse. Okay? Like, it's an absolute fucking mess. It's an absolute mess. I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, I could sound like a broken record, but I don't. That literally summarized the Royal Rumble match in particular and just WWE in general. It is just a fucking mess. Okay? And the fact that the morale is low, I don't blame them. Like, I don't blame the wrestlers. Like, it must have been frustrating for them. Like, having one plan, but then all of a sudden it just changed up. Like, I'm sure it's already bad enough that it changed up once or twice. But these wrestlers had to go through 20 different changes for the Rumble match. If that's not fucking frustrating, I don't know what is. I completely understand why these superstars were frustrated. Okay, this shit should have been set in stone from the fucking get-go. But WWE always lays to the last minute because WWE is a bunch of lazy fucks. Okay, but what else is new? Honestly, what else is new? Give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on the Shane McMahon situation and the morale being low after the Royal Rumble. To be perfectly honest, like, even before the Royal Rumble, I feel like the morale is low in WWE when it comes to these wrestlers. WWE's a fucking mess, bro. So there was that mess, but that's not the only thing that happened today. So Brian Kendrick, right? He was originally supposed to wrestle tonight against Jon Moxley, but it got canceled because comments that he made in 2011 resurfaced today. And here's what it has to say. Again, I'm reading this from WrestlingIn.com. Hours before Brian Kendrick's debut on AEW Dynamite, old comments of Kendrick has resurfaced, showing the longtime wrestler voicing his support for anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. A video originally posted on Twitter by user Dan Pierce, which was later posted in full by journalist David Bixenspan, featured Brian Kendrick in 2011 promoting conspiracy theories involving Jewish families, the Rockefellers, and the Rothschild. In the video, Brian Kendrick suggests that the 13 families, including the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, keep interbreeding. He also said there was a connection between Zionists and the Illuminati over the end of the world, and suggested that Jewish medics were flown to Haiti minutes after the 2010 earthquake in order to scoop up body parts and take eyeballs. Kendrick also notes that he attended a lecture by David Icke, a noted British conspiracy theorist who has promoted anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. 2 years later, in 2013, an article on the website Culture Crossfire recapped a video of Brian Kendrick made for High Spots called the Kendrick Theory. In the video, Kendrick talks about various conspiracy theories, with him once again mentioning the Illuminati and the inbreeding of 13 families, as well as the Skull and Bone Society and the 9/11 conspiracies. Kendrick also expressed support for conspiracy theories regarding the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting and states that the Holocaust was overblown. The first video took place while Brian Kendrick worked for then TNA show, now Impact Wrestling, while the Kendrick Theory was filmed while Kendrick was working independent dates for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kendrick would later return to WWE in 2016 for the Cruiserweight Classic. His third stint would last with WWE until his contract expired with WWE yesterday, February 1st. Kendrick reportedly asked for his release. And there was that. Where do I even begin here? Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Well, actually, there's one more thing. There is one more thing. He did apologize, though. He did apologize. Here's what the apology has to say. I apologize for all, and this was an hour ago. I apologize for all the hurt and embarrassment I have caused with my words. These are not my beliefs and were never beliefs of mine, and I crossed the line. I spread the most vile comments without thinking of the damage it would cause. I will live with this regret for the rest of my life. I am truly sorry for the pain that I have caused. Now, here's the thing. Now, I don't condone what he said. What he said was absolutely fucked up. It was absolutely fucked up. Okay? And just the fact that he even believed it back then was fucking shocking, bro. It was bro, it was definitely crazy to even see with my own eyes. Okay? So, yeah, I do not condone what he said, and what he said was wrong. But this was back in 2011, and his recent controversial comments was 2013. He hasn't really said anything controversial since then. It's been 9 years since he said any stupid shit. Now, I'm very glad that he apologized. I really do. Okay? Personally, I forgive him because people can change. Okay? And it's not like he didn't say, yeah, he said stupid shit back in the day. Okay? But do you know who else said stupid shit? Me. You. Everyone had said stupid shit back in the day. But as long as we acknowledge that we fucked up and we move on with our lives, that would be great. Okay. Obviously, Brian Kendrick, yeah, I don't condone what he said. Okay. What he said was fucked up. And, obviously, Tony Khan saw this and he took him off the show, which I thought it was the right call, and I completely understand why Tony Khan would do this. But yeah, I don't condone what Brian Kendrick said, but he apologized, and as long as like from what it looks like Brian Kendrick doesn't believe in this shit anymore. And again, that's true. Again, people can change. It's been like a decade since he said any of this stupid shit. Okay. So yeah. I forgive him. But I want to know what you guys think about the Brian Kendrick situation. Do you think personally I forgive him. Okay. I don't condone what he said, but at least he acknowledged that it was wrong and he apologized for it. Okay. But I don't know what you guys think about the Brian Kendrick situation. Do you guys forgive him? Do you think Brian Kendrick should do a little bit more? Personally, I think Brian Kendrick already done enough. He says stupid shit back in the day, but he hasn't said anything in a decade. He hasn't said any stupid shit in a decade. Okay, he hasn't said anything since then. Okay, and the only reason, I guess you can say that the only reason, the only people are saying the only reason, he's apologizing because it got brought up just now. But come on, this what we did. I didn't even know. Nobody knew that Brian Kendrick said this stuff back in 2011 and back in 2013. Okay, so it was nothing to he still should apologize. He still shouldn't believe in that shit. I don't know. Personally, he hasn't said any stupid shit since then. It's been a decade since 2013 since he said that shit. So personally, I forgive Brian Kendrick, but that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, that's basically all the stuff that happened today. Very crazy day. So yeah. So without further ado, that was all the news. Now, without further ado, let's talk about AEW Dynamite. So, like I said, Brian Kendrick was kicked out of the match, and he was replaced by Wheeler Yuta. And that was the matchup that started the show. We got Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta to start off Dynamite. It was a great match. Great match by both men, and definitely a great showing by Wheeler Yuta. I thought it was a great match to start the show. After that, Bryan Danielson comes to the ring, and he has to stare down with Jon Moxley. And Danielson, which was a very interesting turn of events. Oh, I completely forgot one more thing. Danhausen is apparently a part of Best Friends now, because Danhausen was accompanying Wheeler Yuta and with Orange Cassidy. And I think Danhausen is a part of Best Friends, and honestly, I can't hate that. Danhausen and part of Best Friends, he fits in so well a part of the faction. So I really, really like that. But yeah, after the matchup, Danielson went face to face with Jon Moxley, and Bryan Danielson actually wanted an alliance with Jon Moxley, and he went off talking shit about all the champ. He talked shit about Adam Page. He talked shit about Jurassic Express. He talked shit about Sammy Guevara. And a matter of fact, in this promo, Bryan Danielson was actually teasing his own faction. And he talked about having specific people like Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuda, and Lee Moriarty in his faction, which I thought is fucking amazing. Imagine a faction between those four men. And putting fucking Serena Deep in there. Oh, man, that sounds sexy. But yeah, like, bro, I hope that happens. I really, really do. But yeah, so Bryan Danielson gives Jon Moxley time to think about it, to see if Bryan Danielson wants to join. That Bryan Danielson basically sending an invitation to Jon Moxley about making an alliance in AEW. Now, obviously, I think we can all agree that Jon Moxley is definitely not joining Bryan Danielson's group. But I just think that's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Great start to start off Dynamite. After that, we get a completely unnecessary but completely entertaining segment with Brandy Rhodes and Dan Lambert. Brandy Rhodes was in the ring. She is getting booed like crazy in Chicago. People in Chicago did not fucking like her. Holy shit. But then Dan Lambert and Men of the Year came out, and Dan Lambert just absolutely demolished fucking Brandy Rhodes. My God, I fucking love Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert is a national treasure, bro. I fucking love Dan Lambert. But it was getting so crazy that Brandy was actually getting booed and Dan Lambert was actually getting cheered. And a matter of fact, Dan Lambert actually sent Paige Van Zandt. She made her return, and those two ladies got it on. Like, they beat the living shit out of each other. But then the ladies of AEW came out and separated the two. Definitely a very unnecessary, but a very entertaining segment, nevertheless. And it looks like they're doing a Brandy Rose Paige Van Zandt match, which, again, it's still pretty unnecessary, but at the same time, I don't mind it. But at the same time, it's completely unnecessary. So, yeah. Very, very, very unnecessary, in my personal opinion. But still a very entertaining segment. Like, I love how Dan Lambert just absolutely destroyed Brandy Rhodes. But yeah, very unnecessary, but very entertaining segment nevertheless. After that, we get the AHFO segment. Again, I fucking hate the HFO, man. I really do. But yeah, Sammy Guevara, it was announced that on Rampage this Friday, we will get Sammy Guevara defending the TNT Championship against Isaiah Cassidy. And that's going to be a great match. And also, Andrade is still trying to bring in Darby Allin for the HFO. So it looks like that is still going on. Nothing too crazy there. After that, we get a great match. I fucking love this matchup. Pac and Pentagon Jr. versus Malachi Black and Brodie King. This was a great match. An absolute great match by both of these teams. And Pac in the beginning was literally fighting with the blindfold off for the first few minutes of the match. Pac was basically motherfucking Daredevil, bro. He was Daredevil up in this bitch, and I loved it, man. Oh my God, this is great stuff. But yeah, great match. Like, Malachi Black and Brodie King wins the matchup, and I love the way they AEW did this. Malachi Black sprayed Pentagon Jr. in the face, and basically, thanks to that, Malachi Black and Brodie King takes advantage and wins the damn match. Great match. The right team won. The way they handled the matchup was absolutely perfect. Awesome, awesome stuff. Loved every second of it. After that, we get an Adam Cole promo, and it was announced that this Friday on Rampage, we will get Adam Cole versus Evil Uno. And it was also in this promo that Adam Cole teased a matchup with Paige for Revolution. As Adam Cole said that this Friday he will make his intentions known of what is next for Adam Cole. Baby. But yeah, great promo by Adam Cole. After that, we get a very good matchup between Ruby Soho and Nyla Rose. The ending was a bit weird. Like, Nyla Rose was on the top rope, right? Ruby Soho looked like went for the detonation kick, but I don't know if it was like botch or like I don't know if it was botch or not, or maybe it was meant to happen, but it was weird. So she tried to go for the super detonation kick. She misses and falls flat on her face. Nyla Rose did a swanton and a power bomb to destroy Ruby Soho. So Nyla Rose picks up the victory. Again, I thought it was a really good matchup, a very good old school type matchup. I really enjoyed this matchup. The ending was a bit weird, but it wasn't too weird. It got the job done. After that, we got the Gun Club as they attacked Jungle Boy, and they took this motherfucker outside and threw him in the snow. And obviously, Jungle Boy was laid out. The Gun Club run for their life because Luchasaurus and Christian Cage came for the save, but obviously Christian Cage and Luchasaurus were way too late. So it looks like AEW still planted the seeds between Jurassic Express and the Gun Club. After that, we get a segment with Hangman Adam Page, and we get Dan Lambert twice. And of course, we get Dan Lambert and Jake the Snake Roberts coming out at the same time. And I'm sorry, this Lance Archer, Dan Lambert, Jake the Snake Roberts alliance is fucking weird. And they still haven't explained why this is a thing. I really hope they explain it soon, because I am not feeling this. I am not feeling this alliance. I feel like putting Dan Lambert with Lance Archer and fucking Jake Roberts is like very random. It's very, very random in my personal opinion. But yeah, Lance Archer comes out. He said enough talk. They both brawled, and Lance Archer basically destroyed Hangman Adam Page. As you know, next week they will fight in a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. After that, we get a Chris Jericho promo. Obviously, Chris Jericho is pissed at Santana Ortiz for how they acted last week. And of course, Jericho wants an inner circle meeting next week. So it looks like we're getting that next week. Now, this is the part of the review where we go over Dynamite and Rampage. Of course, go over the stuff that is happening for Rampage this Friday and Dynamite next week. So let's go over the stuff that is happening on Rampage this Friday. This Friday on Rampage, here are the matches that have been announced. Adam Cole will go against Evil Uno. Ricky Starks will go against Jay Lethal for the FTW Championship. Thunder Rosa will face Mercedes Martinez. And Sammy Guevara will face Isaiah Cassidy for the TNT Championship. So a very stacked show for Rampage this Friday. Cannot wait for it. But here are the stuff that has been announced for Dynamite next week. Obviously, we're having Hangman Adam Page versus Lance Archer in a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. And we're also getting the Inner Circle meeting next week. That is all the stuff that has been announced so far for Dynamite. Now we get to the main event. CM Punk versus MJF. And okay, again, I'm not saying this was a bad match or a terrible match, but this match wasn't excellent or a match of the year candidate as many people are claiming it out to be on social media. Okay, there were two things that kind of put this match down for me. Number one, they restarted the match. So during the matchup, MJF had a part of his scarf, and he was choking. He was choking MJF. Like, no, sorry, he was choking CM Punk. So I thought that was weird. Like, he was choking the shit out of him. Okay, and like he gets taken out, and MJF, like CM Punk gets knocked out, and MJF supposedly win by submission, but he accidentally dropped a piece of the scarf, and of course MJF, instead of giving MJF a DQ, they decided to restart the match, and I'm sorry, I thought that was completely unnecessary. Like I wouldn't mind, I feel like that was just completely unnecessary, in my personal opinion. Restarting, like doing all of that and restarting the matchup. Like, really? Really? I feel like that the matchup would have been fine if they just took that out. I feel like restarting, like doing that spot and restarting the matchup was completely unnecessary, in my personal opinion. And the other problem that I had for this matchup was the fact that it dragged a little bit. I felt like it kind of dragged a little bit. Don't get me wrong. The first few minutes of the matchup was great. And the final few minutes of the matchup was great. Like, for fuck's sake, CM Punk did a fucking Pepsi plunge. We haven't seen CM Punk do that in a very, very long time. The last time he fucking did that was in his Ring of Honor days. Bro, like, I fucking popped when he did that. That was awesome. The last few minutes was absolutely awesome. Okay, but during the middle of the matchup, I don't know. It kind of dragged for me a little bit. I really it just dragged. Like, I won't say it was bad, but the matchup was way too long. I feel like they should have slim it down a bit. I felt like they should have slimmed it down a bit. Okay, like, don't get me wrong, it was still a great matchup. Okay, I'm not gonna say that it's bad or it's the worst match I ever seen, because that's bullshit. Okay, it was a great match, but again, it just wasn't excellent or perfect, and it was because of those two things. Okay, it was because of them restarting the matchup. I thought that was really unnecessary, and it just dragged a little bit, in my personal opinion. And trust me, it breaks my heart to say this, because I want this matchup to be a match of the year candidate or an excellent matchup. I really do. But I feel like I would be lying if I said that. Like, I'm a real guy through and through. And every time I do these videos, I'm always real with you guys. I really am. I'm always real with you guys. And unfortunately, I felt like Punk versus MJF was a bit underwhelming, in my personal opinion. I still thought it was great, but it was just a bit underwhelming. Like, I expected a little bit more from CM Punk versus MJF. But I did like certain things in this matchup. Again, I did like the first few minutes, and I did like the final few minutes of the matchup. Wardlow comes out. MJF gets knocked out. Wardlow's face to face with CM Punk. And while he was face to face, Wardlow, acting like Axel Foley, being slick like Axel Foley, gave MJF the ring, without CM Punk or the referee noticing. And while Wardlow was distracting Punk, MJF got the ring. He knocked out CM Punk. 1, 2, 3. MJF picks up the victory over CM Punk. Definitely definitely the right call. 100% the right call. Okay. So, yeah, I'm very glad that MJF won. It's just, again, it's just them restarting the matchup, and the fact that the match dragged just a little bit kind of took this match down for me a bit. But yeah, I still thought it was a great match. I really did. Okay. It's just a little bit underwhelming because kind of expect a little bit more. Know what I mean? But yeah, I really hope they run it back because like I don't want this matchup to be underwhelming. I really do. Like they need to run it back, and like I hope they run it back at Revolution. I hope we see this rematch at Revolution. I really hope we see it at Revolution. But yeah, that's all I got to say on that. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section, though. What do you guys think about Dynamite tonight? Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? Was there something specifically you like? Was there something specifically you hate? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Much, much appreciated. And until next time, this is Gabriel, and I'll see you next time in the asylum. Have a nice night, everyone.